Holy smokes, land sakes alive! It's Wednesday night, and it's time for the glorified version of a bass fishing talk show. I'm your host, Pat Renwick. Are you ready to go? Are you as amped up as I am? Are you ready to do some bassin' talk show? Some proper bassin' talk show? I hope so. I hope so, because we are. And first up tonight, we have an FLW legend and MLF pro Bryan Thrift, one of the greatest ever. Let's cut the crap.
Yes.
One of the best ever.
Undoubtedly.
One of the most feared bassers in the bass galaxy. Yeah. Bryan Thrift.
You're drinking your truth syrup tonight.
Yeah. We're gonna find out what makes Bryan so good.
I thought you were going to say we're going to find out what makes him tick.
Well, no, we know that. We're gonna find out what makes Bryan so good. So coming up first is Bryan Thrift fishing. Give it up again, Bass Galaxy. I know. Thank you. Amazing audience tonight. Yes. Thank you. Mr. and Mrs. Snodgrass are celebrating their 45th wedding anniversary, as well as TH Marine Supplies, 45 years TH Marine. See how I did that, guys? You see how I bass fish and talk showed right there?
Snodgrass.
You see how I did that? Hey, second up at bat is a bassing phenom. Is that a thing? Is it phenom or phenom? Phenom.
Yeah.
Is that like a bassing phenom? Nolan Miner coming fresh off of his victory. You know how they do that on the shows?
Yeah.
Fresh off his victory on the Bassmaster College Series on Lake Cumberland.
Collegiate.
Yes,
sir.
Yeah, him and his buddy Casey Lanier, right?
Gave it the college try and they won.
They gave it the old college 1-2 punch.
Yeah.
And they're coming on. Or Nolan is, and congratulations to both of them. Nolan's our bud from way back. Yeah. Way up yonder on the Chattahoochee, remember?
Way back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure, the 3DBB. There it is. Thank you. Hello, dum-dum. That's
that Tinkerbell?
Yeah, right there. Hey.
Hello, dum-dum.
That's it. There it is right there. Back to the real world. Stray Casts on Wednesday nights is the place to win things and to play the Tin Cup Whiskey drinking game.
Yes.
And ironically,
you can play it whenever you want, but we play it also on Wednesday nights.
Tambien.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the irony, isn't it ironic, don't you think, that tonight the Tin Cup Whiskey game coincides with a Tin Cup Whiskey giveaway. Give it up for Tin Cup Whiskey. Yeah. That's how you bass fish and talk.
And while you're tying things together,
yeah,
the Tin Cup Whiskey drinking game word of the night is on your shirt. It is Revo.
Revo? Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
I have a feeling it's going to be said a few times.
Okay. Revo will be.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
And who doesn't like a Revo?
I mean, you say you want a revolution. Well, you know.
Yeah, that's one if you're counting. Get started.
Yes, it's right there. So, the Tin Cup Whiskey word of the week is Revo. Anytime you hear the word Revo said, you can take a drink. We ask you to please drink responsibly. Also, it can be whatever beverage you choose. It doesn't have to be a whiskey or a Cool Whip.
Yeah.
It can be whatever. Mountain Dew. It can be whatever you want.
Yeah.
Speaking
Fago?
of Senko. Speaking of Dew, I think that we need to give you a proper welcome back, Cotter, to the Wisconsin.
John Sebastian.
Yes, the Wisconsin Bass Nation State Team Derb champion in the boater division is Ryan Leviticus Numbers Popcorn Whitaker, and he's here tonight. He's better. He
best voice day.
Yeah, best voice
in 2
day
weeks.
ever.
Yeah.
Andy made him stay home. Andy's like our papa in here. Whenever I get out of hand, Andy's like the big papa. So Andy's like, Ryan, you need to stay home and get in bed. Andy sounds just like that.
Is that your Biggie voice?
No, that's Andy. How Andy sounds. And Ryan stayed home, but you're back, Ryan. And we're happy you're back. And congratulations.
Thank you very much
on your victory.
Thank you.
And speaking of victory, our very own victorious OG hip-hop fisherman, he is our very own, he's the Post Malone of Bassin. I mean, let's just be real about this. It's JP High. It's JP High.
Yep.
JP High. Oh, he's dynamite.
He was a Post Malone before Post Malone.
He sure
He's the
was.
pre-Malone.
He's a pre-Post Maloner, if you know what I mean.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah,
Minus the
no
tats.
problem. And JP does the chat boards here on Wednesday nights. He's the guy you talk to on the Straycast chat board. So I would like you to today, Bassin Galaxy, in the live viewing audience, to get some questions for Bryan Thrift or Nolan Miner, and JP's going to write them down and he's going to ask them later. So please get the questions out, okay? Get the questions out. Now, JP, so we complete the like and share process of our show. The deal is we're giving away a mystery. There's 2 prizes. What's going on?
We got the mystery fun pouch sack of Good from
Ooh.
Tin Cup Whiskey.
Yes. Ooh. A mystery fun pouch sack of good.
Plus the bonus giveaway from Abu Garcia.
Plus a bonus giveaway from Abu Garcia. There it is. So, what you could play twice. I don't care. What do they have to do, JP?
They just got to like and share, and you're entered into both.
Oh, okay. And then put Abu Gar. Why don't you tag Abu Garcia or tag Tin Cup? You know, or tag both if you want.
Just tag everyone.
Yeah, tag both of them, and then we'll pick. And if you just tag one, we know that's what you like. That's your preferado.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So how about we do that?
Show your cards.
Okay, so take it off of private, like and share the live Facebook feed for your opportunity to win an amazing prize from Tin Cup Whiskey as well as Abu Garcia Fishing, right?
Boom.
Boom.
That's a 1-2.
Now, there was a key word that I said in there, and it wasn't boom, and it wasn't 1-2, but it was amazing. Now, do you know who's amazing?
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
You got to be more specific.
He's right over behind your shoulder
Well,
to
yeah.
the right, and he's over there, and he's a
That goes
red-headed
without
wonder.
saying.
And ladies and gentlemen, it's Andrew Willenberger. He's the Ginger Ninja. That's right.
Oh.
He's unchained tonight. He's unchained in honor of Edward. Yes. I saw a tear in your eye back there, Andy. Yeah. I mean, Eddie was
don't like
important.
that.
Eddie was important to a lot of us. I mean, for real. I had some moments last night. I'm not going to kid you. I mean, Eddie, I know you too, Ryan. Eddie meant a lot to you. I don't know. Actually, I know you're into GNR and stuff like that. I don't know how important Van Halen was to you, JP. But, I mean, I think of nothing but good times to Van Halen. Like, when I think of Eddie Van Halen's guitar, it makes me happy. Like, there's nothing, there's no depression about a Van Halen song. From Eddie's licks to, basically to Diamond Dave's vocals, man. That combo. After, when Sammy came out,
But Eddie was still...
But
he was still providing tolerable songs because of what he was doing.
And all I'm saying is, man, gosh, Eddie, a lot of happiness that Eddie brought us, and there's a little clip. I don't know if it's still up on our IG story or not, but I was watching some stuff last night, and it's Eddie just signing out with a little bow at the end of Spanish Fly before DOA. And those of you out there that know what that is, it's pretty freaking cool. So hey, I got all kinds of stuff to do still. I got all Eddie Van Halen. Okay, thanks, Andy. Thanks, Andy. Hey, Andy, you got, and thank you, because I went in the Crestliner, Andy, and I opened up the compartment, and you left me a freak ton of menaces.
I did?
Yeah, wasn't that you?
Yeah, I don't know how I did that.
Well, it must have been from when we were out last time.
Yeah.
Because I didn't see him before.
Nope, that was me.
That was you?
Yeah.
Well, thanks for the packages.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, thank you, Carl.
You can thank Uncle Carl.
Yeah, thank you, Uncle Carl, for the sneak attack in there.
It's like St. Nicholas.
I appreciate you. So, again, hey, if you are not a member of Carl's Club, it's a good time to be a member. 30% off most items. Become a Carl's Club member. Boom, pow, pow. There it is. Better than most Pro discounts. Wouldn't you say, Popcorn Whitaker?
Yeah.
Leviticus Popcorn Whitaker. Hey, I want to remind you the Crestliner Real Deals Savings Event is over. It's over, guys. I'm sorry.
Oh.
Andy, I'm sorry. It's over. The Crestliner Real Deal Savings Event is over.
You missed it.
Yeah, you missed it. But here's the good news. Listen, I got some good news. Yes, I got some good news. Listen. So, there's a song of hope. There's more savings available from Crestliner. If you are interested, yes, exactly. If you are interested in getting in an aluminum sled, which will change your life, just saying, give yourself an op, direct message Stray Cast, and we'd be happy to help you out. We have the authority to help
if you enjoy hole shots and getting wherever the hell you want to go.
If you enjoy little jet skis, it's amazing.
Yeah.
Andy, you were in the Crestliner for the first time.
Correct.
First time in.
That thing jumps, man. It's
puts you back, right?
It's shockingly fast out of the hole.
And I run the XF. I run the 189
It's
with
like
the 150
extra
Pro
fast.
XS.
It moves, man. That thing moves. And then it's surprisingly how big that front deck is amazing.
Huge.
It is.
It's like-
Stable, too.
Oh,
Actually, there is a whole family
What's more?
of carnies that live in my boat.
Yeah.
Besides Rakins, there's carnies that live in my
it's
boat.
good.
At night. So if you are looking for any information or savings on Crestliner, please feel free to direct message the Stray Cast accounts, and we'd be happy to take care of you. Our bud Ryan over there at Crestliner. Not this Ryan, Popcorn Leviticus Numbers Whitaker, but Ryan at Crestliner. Half a Spot Official. Guys, that is the app right now. You hear all the time about, spot apps. They got some spots. You know who's even putting spots in there in the Jersey area?
Who?
The Jersey Devil himself.
Mike Anelli?
Mike Anelli is. On Half a Spot Official, also Half a Spot is a proud supporter of the Ike Foundation. So they're running all the online virtual derbs as well for the Ike Foundation. Half a Spot Official. Check out the Instagram page, the Facebook page, and of course the website, and download the apps on your smartphones in the app stores. Oh, Half a Spot. Half a spot. Easy as peasy. Hey man, I think we pretty much got it. Let's get down to business. Put the power poles down. Don't go anywhere. We're coming back with bass fishing. I'm gonna say it, legend, man. He's legendary.
Yes.
Bryan Thrift coming right up.
I got numbers that prove that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nobody wants to run out of power when they're on the water. There is a better way. Introducing the Charge Marine Power Management Station from PowerPole that does the work of 3 devices: a traditional battery charger, a charge on the run, and an emergency start system. PowerPole Charge.
The all-new XF series by Crestliner. Simplistic perfection with performance features built on a platform for success. The amazingly affordable XF series by Crestliner. A brand new way to reel in bass. For more information and to find your local dealer, visit Crestliner.com today. The Crestliner Real Deal Sales Event. The best time to buy is now at Crestliner.com. Save up to $3,000 today.
Hey, it's Carl, and I've got some big plans this fishing season. I'm hoping to get in the best shape of my life to have some of the best fishing of my life. And I want you to join me for Carl's spring training. Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it.
The TH Marine HydroWave H2 KVD Edition is a surefire way to ignite a feeding frenzy. The HydroWave utilizes a sound-emitting technology that imitates bait fish and other feeding fish below the surface that preys on the competitive nature of bass and other game fish to get you more bites. The HydroWave is another way that TH Marine has you covered from transom to trolling motor.
In the beginning of time, there was man. And then came the proper bassin man. And then the proper bassin man named Bryan Thrift came to the earth to dominate the Bass Galaxy. Ladies and gentlemen, we bring to you, I'm going to say it, bass fishing legend, Bass Galaxy, give it up for the one and only Bryan Thrift. That's right, B. Yes! What's going on? Look at you. What's up, bud? Hey, unmute you. Unmute you, Bryan.
Nope. Nope. There we go.
There he is, Bryan Thrift.
There we go. I hit the button. I thought it unmuted. I guess it did.
Did you hear all that nonsense at the beginning?
I did. That was quite awesome.
Well, thank you for calling it that. I don't know if that's it. I just wanted to make sure you got it all. But, dude, welcome to the show, man. Welcome back. It's great to have you.
Yeah, I'm glad to be back. I appreciate you having me back on. It's been a little while.
Yeah, man. Since you won that little derb they call the Cup. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know. I need to get another something one here.
A little something. But you look good, dude. Your smile always makes us happy. I want you to know that, and I mean that for sure, man. Like every time you come on, you're always smiling, and we appreciate that. So.
Well, of course. If you can't have a good time fishing, where can you have a good time?
That's true.
Exactly. And you're fortunate that fishing is like your life. So
It really is. It is my life. It's kind of like my second life. I mean, I got the family, the wife, and the kids. That's kind of life number one. And luckily, fishing pays for all that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And of course we know that. And fishing, obviously your family and your faith and your love for your family and your faith is your number one in life. But there's that drive that makes Bryan Thrift tick. Okay, like one of the best anglers on the planet. You are, how they have that, what do they call it, Ryan? A man's man, or that's a
sure.
I mean, you're a bassin man's man, dude. Like yeah. You're the dude that everybody would be like Thrift.
The fisherman's fisherman.
Yeah, the fisherman's fisherman. Like Thrift, or like Thrift. Yeah, like Thrift. Yeah, like Thrift. You know what I mean? That's it's kind of like that. So
that may not be accurate, but yeah, we'll go with that.
So I mean, there's something about you that's not normal, and I have to let you know, full disclosure, full transparency, as they say in bass fishing. Okay, here, like, I'm here to find out why you're so damn good. That's why I have you here, and that's why I'm here tonight. I want to know why you are so good. Okay? So I ask you a favor. What'd you say?
I said I want to know too, so I can quit screwing up the other half of the since I don't understand.
Well, you're gonna find out because you're gonna tell us. So
there's a piece of it right there.
Yeah. See. So we need you to be honest with us. Can you promise me that you will be 100% honest?
Of course, will.
Okay. No talking out of both sides of your mouth. You gotta one side only. Okay.
All right. Let's go.
So I want to first start with the spark. Okay?
All
right. The spark. Every one of us have it, right? We all have that spark that starts us at this silly passion of bass fishing. Yeah. For me, it was kind of like, it was a tackle box, Bryan. So it was a tackle box that was my grandfather's, who had passed away. And I remember digging in that tackle box. And then that was like, man, I want to get this stuff in action, in motion. And then there's a person, and that person was my neighbor Paul, who eventually became my grandpa Paul and step grandpa Paul, and he got me. He's the one that really got the bassin bug, implanted. And then I'm kind of taking you through this for a purpose. Then there was the evolution of like combos. I started to want to get rods and reels. All right. and then build my own tackle, and then the act of fishing, and then the act of your first boat, and then the act of the boat and truck. So it's an evolution of an angler. Do you see where I'm going with this?
Of course.
Okay. So what I ask you is, what is the spark? What was that first spark for Bryan Thrift?
Okay. I know exactly what it was.
Tell me.
The very first spark. Like, I'd always liked fishing when I was, younger. This was probably when I was 12 years old. My dad would take me to a farm pond and drop me off, and I'd fish 3 or 4 hours. And I'd talked him into taking me to a little tackle store, and I talked him into buying me a little cheap spinnerbait. You know, the little cheap spinnerbaits they hang up on the pegs for like $1 a piece?
Absolutely.
So I'm 12 years old, and I talk him into buying me this spinnerbait. And when he drops me off, he says, "Now, don't you lose this spinnerbait."
Right.
So, about an hour into my trip, like a 7 or 8 pounder breaks my line and takes the spinnerbait I'm not supposed to lose.
For real, a 7 or 8.
Yeah. Well, back then in my mind, it was a 7.
Well, that's good.
It was big, and it took my spinnerbait. That's all I know.
That's all you need to know.
And I'm thinking to myself, "Oh, Daddy's gonna be mad at me. I've lost the spinnerbait he bought me."
Oh, wow.
So I made it my mission to retrieve said spinnerbait. So I fished like every day for the next 2 weeks trying to catch that fish and get my spinnerbait back, and I never did. So that was kind of the first drive of me trying to figure out all the different things I could do to catch a bass.
Look at that.
Start of the obsession.
Look at that. Boom. Yeah. I mean, that's the evolution of Bryan Thrift right there. It's like Cro-Magnon Thrift.
That's that's that trait, getting angry at the fish.
Yes. Paleozoic Thrift era.
Yeah.
That's what that is. Wow. That's pretty amazing. So your dad was the person as well. The first thing is the spinnerbait. Your dad is the person, and the losing of the fish was the drive. All right?
Yeah. That's what kind of sparked it all for me.
And you were bank running? That's what you were doing when you lost that fish?
Yeah, I was just walking the banks of the local farm ponds, out there barefooted with my pants rolled up.
Nice.
Trying to catch every fish in the pond.
Of course. That's awesome.
It's amazing how much you learn doing something like that. Like, that's pretty much where I'm taught myself a lot of things before I ever got a boat. Because when you're fishing these small ponds and you've got 10 lures, you go all the way around the pond with each lure, and you just pick up on little subtleties and little things, like you go all the way around the pond with one bait and don't get a bite, and go all the way around the pond with another bait, catch 4 or 5. And it's just picking up little things like that. And I don't even think you really notice it at the time. Mm-hmm. But after 4 or 5 years of doing that, just things start, I think, clicking subconsciously.
Yeah.
I am so glad you said that about pond fishing.
Amazing.
Our group of friends, JP and I, those guys will argue up and down that you can't learn a thing from pond fishing because you're fishing fish in a barrel. It's not. So I'm going to play this clip for them like 10 times. They're all getting sent this.
Yeah.
As soon as I can pull it.
And that's a great point that you made as well, Bryan, that like having, a bag full of bait, and you're going to have a couple crank plugs and some spinner baits and some Texas rigs and a jig, and you're going to make the rounds, man. You're going to round it, and you're going to try and get in front of your buddy, right, Ryan? All you pond hoppers, right?
Yeah, you're leapfrogging.
You're going to leapfrog your buddies, and because you're on the swim jig thing now, and they're back on the spinner bait, and you were just throwing a spinner bait, and you want to get that swim jig up in front of them, you know what I mean? So, but yeah, Bryan, great point, man. Like, do you realize that every question that you are giving us insight into the mind of Bryan Thrift? Do you realize that what's happening here?
I don't know if you want to be inside there.
It's like a BB in a boxcar, isn't it, Bryan?
Yeah.
That's awesome. Hey, talk to me about the first special rod and reel. The first Bryan Thrift cherished combo.
Oh, okay. This is going way back.
Yeah, man.
Back again to the pond days. I had a couple of rod and reels that I don't really remember what were, like open faces with some little, cheap combos.
Sure.
But the first one I remember buying with my own money that it was one of those rods where you're like 14, 15 years old, rod and reel. I mean, every time you go fishing, I come home and spend 30 minutes cleaning it to keep it in tip-top shape.
Pristine.
Those types. And it was a old Quantum 1310 reel. This is probably in the mid. Didn't even have a thumb bar, just had a button on the side you push to disengage the spool. I don't really remember what kind of rod it was, but I definitely remember that reel.
Yeah, I think in those Quantum 1310s were like a silver reel, weren't they?
Yeah, they were silver with a little button on the side.
Yeah, I remember with that click button. Yeah, that's awesome.
That might have been my first one too.
I mean, that 13, it was around. I remember that reel making the rounds. A lot of my buddies had that. No doubt about it. All right, so now let's go to, we talked about the spinnerbait. We talked about the first rod and reel. These are all the sparks. What's that boat? What's Bryan Thrift's first boat ever? First floater ever? First sled.
Boat owned. All right, so I was kind of late getting started as far as getting a boat goes. I didn't get my first boat till I was a junior in college, probably 2002. Okay. And very first boat was a 17-foot Astro with a 115 Mercury on it.
Wow. Okay.
It was a 93 model, and I bought it in 2002. And I fished out of it for probably 5 or 6 years.
Wow. I think Ryan Whitaker bought that boat a couple years after that.
I just sold a 93 Astro last year.
That's awesome. So you didn't even have a John boat or an inflatable raft or a belly boat or a float tube or nothing?
No, nothing. It was just me wading around in a pond and fishing with buddies.
Okay. And you got your first boat in 2002.
Yep.
Right? Okay. So
that's it.
So we've pretty much laid the foundation of Bryan Thrift. Would you guys say so?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We have laid the foundation. This is the spark. This is the drive. And in 2002, you get your first boat and you start fishing some derbs, right? You maybe get at it and start getting in the derb thing.
Yeah, I joined like a federated bass club and, fished with them. And that's kind of what got me started into the tournament scene.
Okay, now that's 2002. Now, I want everybody to be aware of this. We're going to fast forward the tape right here. Are you ready? 2006. Bryan Thrift, co-angler, okay, on the FLW tour. You won like 13 or 30 grand or something, dude. Like as a co-angler in 2006. Nobody even really knows like who's Bryan Thrift. Okay, who the heck is this guy? And then 2007, all right, 2007, Rookie of the Year, 5th in points, front of the boat. Just got an Astro in 2002.
5 years after having.
5 years after just getting a boat after being an FBR. That's a freaking bake runner, and you should be proud of it. Thank you very much. And then 2007, you are the Rookie of the Year on FLW Tour, and everybody is like, that guy's Bryan Thrift. There goes Bryan Thrift. That's Bryan Thrift. Here's Bryan Thrift. See? Dude.
There you go.
Crazy talk, right?
That is kind of crazy.
Okay. You evolve more. Everyone, I am not by any means downplaying any of this. You are a Forest Wood Cup champion. You are a 2-time FLW Angler of the Year. We have watched your career. We have learned from your career. Okay, but we still don't know what makes you so good. Now, Bryan Thrift, now that we have laid the foundation, I have a series of 10 questions for you.
All right.
All right. And I really need you to tell us. Don't hold back. Just in other words, don't hold back. Okay. There's nothing bad. Nothing bad here. We're not going to Cosby you or nothing. Nothing bad. Everything's good.
I don't believe you. I've been on here before.
But this is still the good part. This is the good part. Okay? So we want to know what makes you so damn good.
All right.
How often do you think about fishing?
Oh.
How often?
A lot, like at least 10 times a day.
At least 10 times. Do you think more about fishing than sex?
Possibly, yes.
Okay. It's really close with me. I'm gonna be honest.
That's heavy.
Yeah.
I mean, just being honest. All right.
Well,
thank-
see, if I don't catch no fish, the two are kind of related.
Yeah, and then food. So there's fishing, food, and sex. They're all, like all that's necessary. It's all satisfying. Okay.
My wife doesn't like it when I catch a lot of fish and bring home a big check.
That's right.
Yep. Goes hand in hand.
All right. With that being said, you think about fishing about 10 times a day, at least 10 times a day. That's a hard question. I know, Brian. I mean, I know it is.
Yeah, you don't know how long for each taste.
Now, what I need you to do is think about in life what motivates you in life.
What motivates me to do what?
Just in life, what motivates you as a person? What motivates you to get out of the bed every morning, Bryan Thrift?
Oh, that's definitely my wife.
Your wife. Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
Excellent, amazing answer. It's great to have a best friend that does that, isn't it?
Exactly.
Yeah, and dude, I mean, you're a fortunate man. Now, with that being said, I need to ask you, what in life pisses you off the most? What grinds your gears?
The only time I ever really, really get mad is at a stupid bedding fish. So that's that's it.
Okay, that's it. Like drive-through lines don't bother you.
No.
People not pulling out far enough into the intersection when they're making a
Ignorant
left.
people at boat ramps. None of that stuff. Just bedding fish.
Yeah, because I can laugh at all that other stuff and get a little bit of entertainment out. When you've got like a bedding fish that's just nipping at your bait and you keep jerking and missing, or foul hook, have to turn it loose. That gets me mad.
But that's freaking awesome.
That's crazy. I can laugh at that.
That's like Bryan Thrift's biggest problem in life is a bedding fish. Okay, guys, do you realize that? That's why you're the best. One of the best. One of the best. Dude.
Like it gets so bad. Just for a little backstory on that, this in the MLF event at Lake Fork, I made the final day, so we're there on the fourth day at Lake Athens, and I find like this 3.5 pounder on the bed, and I literally waste one whole 2.5 hour period trying to catch this one fish because I'd let it get so personal with me. I lost him like 3 times. Foul hooked him, had to turn him loose. He goes right back to the bed and just sits there staring at me. He's like teasing me. He's taunting me. I know it is. I know he is. And I just keep fishing for him. Like the next thing I know, I spent 2.5 hours and I still haven't caught this fish. And it's the end of the period. And so we have our 15-minute break. And I would call my wife, and she's like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "This stupid fish, I've got to catch it." She's like, and if it wasn't for her, I would have probably spent the whole next period trying to catch this fish. But she said to me, "Have you ever thought that maybe the good Lord don't want you to catch that fish?"
There she is again.
I pretty much left it, and that cleared my head and ended the battle between me and said 3.5 pounder, and we parted ways.
Thank God again for your wife, right?
Exactly. I probably trying to catch a stupid fish.
So, I mean, again, a bedding fish is his biggest problem. That's just crazy talk. That's and for those that don't know Brian's exact style of fishing, I mean, you a self-professed run and gunner, milk runner, and yeah, that's it's tough. It's so probably just drives you bonkers to sit there on one fish just for that purpose alone.
Well, it did, and like every time I'd lose interest and get all right, I'm leaving now, he'd bite it, and then I'd jerk and miss him, and then I'd have to spend another minutes there. Like he was just taunting me the whole time, teasing me, and it just, I didn't like it.
It's too good to share.
Go ahead.
Andy Cox says, "Imagine if that bedding fish had an old spinnerbait in its face."
That would have been a pretty good trick.
Yeah, then you'd still be there. You'd still be there.
There's that damn fish.
All right, so we're keeping track here on the road to finding out why Bryan Thrift is so good. You think about fishing about 10 times a day. Your wife is your biggest inspiration, and spawning fish are your biggest problem in life. All right, we have that so far. We're synopsising. Okay, that's what they call it here. Hey, tell me about a fish. Well, you kind of answered this a little, but there's got to be something else, like a tournament fish that haunts you. Let's say a loss. Let's say a fish loss that haunts you, Mr. Thrift.
Oh, I can't think of one that, like, just right off the top of my head.
Stop right there. That's fine. That's good. Now think about a fish that gives you a happy boner, like a fish that makes you happy every time, Bryan. Think about it.
Okay, I'm going to say there's a lot of those.
Okay, let's mark that.
That might mean,
Okay.
yeah, we might need
So
to leave
he
that one
doesn't.
there, too.
Let's leave that right. Thanks, Ryan. You and I are on the same page.
Yeah.
So Bryan Thrift does not have a fish loss that haunts him. It's just that damn spawning fish. That's his biggest problem in life. It's like that damn coyote with Bugs Bunny, and
Right.
you know what I'm talking about.
Right.
Okay. And then the other problem is that you just have so many damn good fish catches that you're happy all the time about it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
it's
pretty much every one I catch, I'm happy about.
dude. It's freaking awesome. It's awesome, dude. Okay. So now I need you to tell me about a derby in your entire career that you are the most unsatisfied with. On a particular derby that you are most unsatisfied with, and why?
All right, the one derby that would be in 2008 at the Detroit River FLW Tour event. It was the last event of the season, and going into the last day of the last event, I'm leading angler of the year. All I've got to do is go catch a limit of bass, and I catch 4, and do not win angler of the year on Lake Erie.
That's haunting.
Yes, where they pretty much give everybody 5 when they drive under the bridge.
Oh my gosh, that still gets you, don't it?
Yeah, that was a weird tournament because there were like 5 of us that had like a insanely good chance to win angler of the year, and all of us blew it, and Dudley ended up winning.
Dudley. Hey, when it's your time, isn't it?
Exactly.
We love Dudley. So tell me about the derb in your life that you are the most satisfied, the one that you were most enthralled with in your entire career, Bryan Thrift.
Probably the one that I was, saying the Forest Wood Cup from last year would be the obvious choice.
Right.
And that was one I was very enthralled with, but it was kind of it wasn't one that I was completely dialed in on. I'm going to say the one tournament that I was completely dialed in and felt like there was a good chance I was going to win was in 2015 at Lake Eufaula. That was one I pretty much had all my eggs in one basket, and I knew what I was going to do, and if it worked, I was going to win. And luckily it worked out.
And how did you win that one again? What was the pattern or the deal?
The pattern there, I was running brush piles and fishing, throwing a frog shallow.
Nice combo. That fits you well. And you felt it. You felt that tournament?
Do what?
You felt that tournament. You felt it like, you know how Talk says, I knew it. Like, did you kind of know that at that derb?
I didn't per se know it, but I kind of, like, I don't know, I kind of felt it. You know what I mean? Like, I never voiced it verbally because that'll always come back to bite you in the butt.
Sure, of course.
But I just kind of had one of those feelings.
The funny feeling, yeah, and we all get it. You professionals get it. Weekend derb guys get it. Guys just hanging out on the river for the day get it. It's that special feeling in bass fishing, like when you know you're doing the right thing.
Right, exactly.
So you didn't make that Facebook post that says I'm on them, and all I gotta do is just catch 5 of these a day, and it's over.
And then that was the Lake Erie Derby, and he came in with 4.
Yeah, and then crickets for 5 days.
I know better than to ever say something like that.
Yeah.
You never see very many Bryan Thrift sunrise practice photos.
No.
You notice that?
I'll have to make one next tournament just for you, Pat.
Thank you very much. All right, man. We're moving right along, and we're getting places. Do you see what's happening here? Do you see your career in retrospect?
Yeah, maybe a touch.
Okay, good. Well, we do. Well, thank you. We're we're getting to it here. All right. So we know about a satisfied derb. We know about a derb that makes you mad. We know that in everything that in Bryan Thrift's entire life, the only thing that makes him mad is betting fish. Well, look at you. Look behind you. Let me just stop. That's pretty. Hey now. Look at that. How many are I'm looking over your right shoulder, Mr. Thrift, and there's quite an ensemble there. You got an EGOT. That's an Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, and a Tony.
There's at least a dozen of them.
Yes,
things over
there
there.
is. That's unbelievable, man. How many FLW deals are there? Trophies.
I don't know. From the
12.
bottom to
Wow.
up right there.
Holy wow. That's Bryan Thrift. Look at you with a check that says $300,000. That's outstanding. Man. Hey, I kind of have, we're putting this all together, Bryan, and I think I know the answer, but I want you to tell us what makes you so good. What makes you so good?
I think the biggest thing is versatility, and I think that's the biggest thing. I mean, you got to be well versed in everything, every technique, every body of water. And I think that's my biggest strength, but it's also my biggest weakness because I'm always looking for something better. And a lot of times that leads to finding nothing.
Okay. So if I'm going to allow me to interject, and then I am going to say that your biggest weakness is your biggest strength. And that's what makes you such a good fisherman. Do you guys agree with me on that? Andy back there, you're the smartest guy in this room. I know that. Our producer's way smarter than all of us, Bryan.
correct.
Even
Yeah, I
you.
would agree.
Not when it comes to bassing, but
God, no.
but is that
Correct.
what it is?
Yeah,
that,
absolutely.
That his drive comes from fear of failure.
Yes, that's pretty much it. That is correct.
So fear of failure keeps Bryan Thrift a notch above everybody else, and it also puts more and more trophies on his mantle there and in the bookcase, and more rubles in the pocket, because you don't want to F up.
These guys sharing that trait with a guy that used to wear the number 23.
Yeah. So you and Michael Jordan, buddy, for real. Great point, Ryan. Hey, come on. All kidding aside.
Seriously.
There's greats in every sport, man. That's not a joke. Go ahead and laugh about it. But, dude, that's the sign of a champion. Your fear of failure motivates you to constantly succeed. That's why you're always thinking about fishing. That's why you're always fishing. That's why all your buddies are always hunting. Now, I know you shoot a few off the back porch. I know what you do. But, I mean, dude, you are always on your game. You always send it, don't you?
I try.
You do. You do. Boom. Ladies and gentlemen, Bryan Thrift's fear of failure is what makes him so good. Yes. I am not a doctor, but I play one on television, Bryan.
Very
Thank you.
good.
Thank you. Bryan, you pretty happy with your life?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I mean, you're a bass fishing talk show host too. You and your buddy Matt.
Matt's more of the talk show host. I'm just there to answer occasional questions.
Yeah, and smile, and
Color.
you got a great smile. Yeah, you're like popcorn. Yeah,
Color guy.
Yeah, he's the color guy. So that you and Matt, got this combination, this bass fishing talk show. What do you think about all that? I mean, what do you think? Like, what do you think about this whole bass fishing talk show game?
I enjoy it. It's a chance to interact with fans that you normally don't get to do.
Yeah.
I mean, even at tournaments, weigh-ins and things like that, where you sign some hats and stuff and say hey and stuff. You don't really get to sit down and have a conversation with the fans and answer questions and talk with them. And that's kind of what we try to provide on Let's Talk Fish. It's not particularly one-on-one, but it's more like that scenario where, you can ask us a question and we'll try our best to answer it.
Yeah, man, and you guys are, and it's entertaining, man. It's just like you guys just sit around at the table, and just hang out for a minute, and it's like, if you feel like just getting up and leaving for a minute, you do that, whatever it takes.
Everything goes. That's kind of what we wanted it to be, kind of relaxed atmosphere, just like a bunch of guys hanging out talking.
Yeah, I mean, and it's pretty cool, and I like when you pull out the actual baits and stuff or the your tackle boxes, because I think I like, and it's like, oh my, not the fanboy out, but let's face it, we all are here. Like, oh, it's Bryan Thrift's tackle box, yeah. It's like whatever.
Exactly.
Yeah, Bears, go Bears. Sorry, Andy, I get excited about the Bears and Bryan Thrift's tackle box as well. Tambien, what makes Bryan Thrift the best one of the best anglers in the world is his fear of failure. Bryan, let's interrogate you now. This is the moment. I need you to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help you God.
All right.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Bryan Thrift, are you ready?
I'm ready.
What is your preferred finesse technique? Your preferred finesse fishing technique?
My preferred finesse technique is a 4-inch Demiki stinger, either wacky rigged or on a net head.
The stinger, wacky rigged or a net head, 4-inch Demiki. I remember the first time you were on the show when you were telling me about the Demiki trimmer, and I was like, "What's he saying? Trimmer?" You're just like, what's he trimming?
The trimmer.
What is he trimming? I'm like, are you saying Pam or Pan? And you're going trimmer. And I'm like, what's he doing? The bushes?
It's a beard trimmer.
It's the Burkett. It was the trimmer. It was the Demiki trimmer.
Yeah.
So now we're on the same page. Anyway, totally unrelated. How many days a week do you fish?
It varies. Some weeks I go 2 or 3 days, and some weeks I don't go at all.
Wow. Okay, so the most is 3?
Yeah, most I go is 3, probably 3 when I'm home. When I'm home, I'm more of a fair weather fisherman.
Okay, yeah.
If it's a day and I don't have anything to do, I'm going.
Do you stay off the lakes on the weekend?
No, I like going on the weekends. I still love fishing little weekend tournaments, team tournaments here around the house. I fish one every weekend if there's one going on.
Dude, and that's awesome. Hey, do you ever run into this? Like, there's always these local derbs where, like, guys that are, let's face it, pro anglers, and they want to get in there. There's always those crybabies that are like, man, of course Thrift is here. Thrift can win this shit right here. Man, we won't fish this league. Thrift fishes it. You ever get those guys?
Yeah, occasionally, but they usually beat me. It's hard to win at home now because I don't get to fish as much as home as, a lot of the local guys do. I mean, they're out there 2, 3, 4 days a week all year long, and I'm gone for 6 months out of the year.
So they're dialed. Yeah, they're dialed in your fishing history, but you're still Bryan Thrift. So I don't know. I don't know what to say. All right. How many? This is from our very own hip hop fisherman, JP High. How many rod and reel combos are in your boat right now? How many?
Right now, 0.
Oh, okay. On a typical tournament day.
Backfire.
On a typical tournament day, how many?
Typical tournament day, probably 25.
25 combos on a typical tournament day.
Yeah, that's a tournament day. Practice day is probably closer to 45.
Wow. Okay. And what's your system? Like, okay, what's Bryan Thrift's system? Like, I keep like glass. I like to throw glass rods and graphite rods, so I keep like all the glass on one side and then the graphite on the other, just so I'm like organized. Or let's say winding rods versus drag and flip rods. How do you organize your rod boxes?
In the box or on the deck?
On the box. On the box first. Say you're on a derb day and you got 25 rods in the box. How is it set out, organized, so in your mind when you open those lids, whether it's on left, right, center, however your boat's set up?
Okay.
How are you dialed?
I carry so much tackle. The only place I have to put rods is the left side rod locker.
Okay.
Because everything tackle. And what I normally do is I'll rig up everything that I'm going to use in the event, and I put them in the front seat of the truck. They ride shotgun to the lake.
Okay.
And then all the stuff that I might need, but I'm not planning to need coming out of the gate, goes in the rod locker. And then when I get to the lake, I just set my rods out of the front seat of the truck, put them on the deck, and then if I see I need more, I'll dig them out throughout the day.
Wow. Okay, I like that. I like how you do that.
So you're not the guy that hides your rods from everyone during the takeoff.
I don't care if everyone sees them.
Right.
That's why he's Bryan Thrift. How many of those 25 rods are Gen 1 Rebos?
Ooh. At least half.
At least half of them.
Wow. Awesome.
Okay. I like the old school.
Love those.
I think Abu Garcia, I know there's a lot of representatives right now from Abu Garcia watching, and we are petitioning for a Bryan Thrift Signature Series Gen 1 Rebo. Bass Galaxy, what do you think of that? Does that sound like a plan, or what do you think? Oh, they're for it.
Yeah, the retro Revo.
I think
Bryan Thrift edition.
Bryan Thrift edition. You know,
Yeah.
The guy that got an Astro boat in 2002 and then in 2007 dominated the world.
Yep.
That guy. That's the one we're talking about.
Please bring that back. Love the new ones. Love the new ones.
All right, let's get back to the interrogation. All right.
That's Gen 1s came out was 2007.
Yeah. And that's how long I've been with Abu Garcia. Think about first Revo. Guy Steve Kish. Gentlemen,
I got 4 I bought that year, and they're still in the game.
Wow. 2007. What a year. It's a fine wine. It's fine
Yeah.
wine. And now we've progressed to some amazing Army Rebos.
Oh, the Army tank.
You see that one? That's the Zeta. Look how sexy that is. This reminds me a lot of a Gen 1. It does, Brian. We were talking about this morning. You get your hand on this in the EXD. You'll see what I'm saying.
I'm going to.
You'll see what I'm saying. You got some in the garage. You know you do. Just go out there. You don't even know what you got in there.
See, that's my trouble is I keep waiting on the Gen 1s to tear up so I can replace them and they won't break.
I know.
They just hate that you say that. They hate that. All right, let's interrogate Bryan Thrift again. You ready? Now, rapid fire answers. Rapido. Salepacato. Shamato Sati. Rapido. Bryan Thrift. If you could eliminate one or two anglers, or one of these two anglers from competition, who would it be? Jordan Lee or Jacob Wheeler? Eliminate one forever from the game. Not by death, but just maiming them.
Jacob Wheeler.
Jacob Wheeler, knocking him out. Okay. So he's a bigger threat to you than Jordan Lee, personally?
Jacob reminds me of me.
Ooh. Wow. Oh, my gosh.
That's quite the compliment, Mr.
That's heavy.
Yeah.
He's one of the few other anglers that are actually, like, they thrive on bass fishing. Like, that's all he thinks about. That's all he does. He eats, sleeps, and breathes it. And that's probably why he's one of the best in the world right now.
Yeah, dude, he is a great angler. And his dad's Joe Thomas. So he comes from bass fishing lineage. If you know, and he was in that bait shop movie as a kid with Zona and Sanders. Remember him as a little kid in that movie? That's why Wheeler's so damn good.
That's awesome.
Yeah, there he was. Thanks. But anyway, okay.
Thank God he doesn't wear the same shorts as his dad.
All right, interrogation music. Rapid fire answers, please. Rapido. 5 fish versus stack fishes. 5 fish limit versus as many as you can catch. What's your preferred poison?
As many as you can catch.
As many as you can catch. You want to stack them up. You want to whack them and stack them.
Yeah, that's fun. Like, that's the whole point of bass fishing is go out and catch as many as you can. Like,
all right.
nobody go fun fishing and catch 5. You want to go fun fishing and catch all of them.
That's your style, too. I see. I respect that. I respect that. Okay. All right. If you could play any instrument, what instrument would that be? Musical instrument?
Man, I was at Norman last weekend fishing a tournament, the Toyota Series, and the last day of the event, I pull in a pocket, and there's a dude straight up jamming on some bagpipes.
Oh,
I got
wow.
back after that.
Nice. I could see you in the kilt and shit on the front of the boat. Heck yeah. All William Wallace getting ready to kick some butt at the derb. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, man. With the bagpipes. I like that you brought the Celtic pride into this. That's pretty damn cool. Hey, the last bass you caught, how'd you catch it?
The last bass I caught was on a 4-inch Demiki stinger.
Look at you. Okay. Look at you. On the 4-inch Demiki stinger. What's your favorite part about fall fishing? Favorite part?
Topwater bite.
The topwater bite. What's your favorite topwater bait?
In the fall, my favorite is a Demiki Rambler.
The Rambler. The Midnight Rambler. What is that?
What's the Rambler?
What is it?
It's a walking bait.
Oh, okay. Like a Zara Spook type bait or a slide bait or?
Yeah, like a Zara Spook type bait.
Okay, gotcha. And is a Zara Spook walking type bait usually your preference over like a good old Pop-R type bait?
And it definitely is in the fall because I can cover so much more water with it. And the Rambler's got a loud knock system in it, plus BBs, so it really calls fish from a long way. And that's a huge key in fall fishing because the fish are scattered out really far, and you got to cover a lot of water. You want something with a lot of drawing power.
The Demiki Rambler. I like it. It sounds pretty B.A. Baracus. You know what I mean? You know who B.A. Baracus is?
Of course. Who doesn't?
Yes. Bryan Thrift. That's the guy. That's the guy right there. Hey, who's the guy who's the Trip Wilden of MLF? What's his name? Barry White? What's his name? We said it earlier downstairs.
Something white.
Oh, what isn't it? What's something white? What's the guy's name? Who's the Trip Weldon of in the? Who is that?
Yeah, who's your tournament director?
Who's your tournament director?
Oh, Aaron Bashirs.
Aaron Bashirs.
That's not white.
That's
not
yeah.
white at all.
Why did you guys tell me it was Barry White?
It was. I thought it was a white.
Aaron Bashirs.
All right. Maybe that was a different. That was a different one.
Okay. Well, anyway. Well, here's the. Here. I talked with Mr. Bashirs earlier today. True story. I just made up.
You did?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he told me there's a new rule, Mr. Thrift, that you might not like. And it's a little game we call here on Straight Casts 3 on deck, 1 in hand. That means coming up next season, you are only allowed 4 rod and reel combos. 4 of them.
How are you going to name it 3 on deck and they'll get 4 choices?
Well, you got 1 in your hand.
3 on deck,
There's
1
3
in
on deck,
hand.
1 in hand.
All right, that makes sense.
Yeah, or you could have it on the seat, you know, whatever. But you got to use 1 of them, so you get 4 total. See what I'm saying? So this is 4 rod and reel combos and 4 baits. So I need you, Bryan Thrift, to tell the entire Bass Galaxy to break this down. Break it down. The 4 rods specifically, the 4 reels specifically, the line size specifically, and the 4 baits specifically that you are going to dominate the world of bass fishing with in 2021. What is it, Bryan Thrift? Go ahead.
All right, the first one is going to be my new signature series shaky head rod from Fitzgerald. It's a 610 medium heavy.
Okay.
I have 15-pound P-line TCBX braid with a 8-pound P-line tactical leader. And I'm going to have 2 baits I will throw on that will be a shaky head with a 4-inch stinger or a wacky rig stinger. So that's 1.
Okay, there's number 1, the finesse rig.
Yeah, you got to have a finesse rig.
Okay.
And it catches big ones all over the country, especially if you got clear water. The next rod I'm going to have is my Signature Series frog rod from Fitzgerald. And, I need to go to the reel. I'm going to have a Revo MGX Extreme 30 size spinning reel on the rod.
Okay.
With the first setup. So, second setup is going to be my 7.2 Signature Series frog rod. I'm going to have a Revo STX 8.0 gear ratio reel.
Okay.
I'm going to have it spooled up with a 50-pound TCBX braid.
50-pound braid.
It's going to be able to throw frogs, topwaters, all that type stuff.
Well, there's one bait, so...
Oh, one bait.
Yeah, I mean, we only got 4 rods and 4 reels and 4 baits. Like, you got to rule the galaxy with 4 rods and 4 reels and 4 baits next year. You can have,
Okay. All right, have a frog on it, too.
A frog on it. Okay, what's your frog? What's the frog? What's your frog of choice?
Oh, that's a hard one. I throw a lot of different ones.
Name one.
Probably just the old Spro frog.
The old Spro. You can't go wrong. Spro popping or walking. And I like that Jackal one, too. I like that Jackal one that John Cox won on.
Yeah. That's a good one.
That's a good one, too. Okay, we got the finesse combo. We got the frog rod. That's 2. Give me the third one.
Third one is going to be my Signature Series skipping rod. It's a 6.9 heavy action rod I designed for skipping bakes under docks and trees. And I'm going to have a Revo STX 7.3 gear ratio reel, 20-pound P-line tactical fluorocarbon,
Gotcha.
and it's going to have a 1/2 ounce jig on it.
Okay. What's the jig in the trailer?
The jig's just going to be a 1/2 ounce jig, and the trailer's going to be a 4-inch Demiki knockout.
Okay. What type of head? What type of jig head?
Like an Arky style head. Just
Good.
one of the homemade North Carolina jigs.
I like it. Okay, that's 3, man. You got the jig. All right. You got the frog, and you got the finesse. What's the final one to rule the galaxy with?
Oh, I gotta think about this one for a second.
So you got only one more, man. I mean, everything's on the line. This is everything.
All right, I
4.
got some type of cranking apparatus, so I'm gonna go with my 7.4 heavy action Fitzgerald crankbait rod.
Whoa. Okay.
The Revo winch on it, 12-pound P-line fluorocarbon, and I'm gonna have a Demiki DC 300 on it.
What is that type of crankbait? What's the BC 300?
The 300's kind of a small-bodied, medium-depth running crankbait. It fishes real good from 8 to 14 feet. So it gives you kind of a wide range of water. If I can only throw one crankbait all year, that would kind of get me through the springtime and summertime, so we could make it work all year if we had to.
Gotcha. And I like that you said 7.4 heavy, because I too subscribe to the heavy action crankbait rod principle. Like Rick Clunn started ages ago. I use glass, but I use heavy action glass rods.
Yeah.
And are you using glass or are you using graphite?
No, it's all graphite. Definitely don't like glass rods.
Okay, and why is that? Why don't you like them?
Because fish bite them and you don't know he bit it.
Aha. Okay. So what would you say when David Fritz says you're crazy, Bryan Thrift?
I say David would have made a lot more money over the last 20 years if he'd have been using graphite.
Wow! Look at that! That was outstanding. Yeah, you're going to rule the world in 21. I know it. Hey, man, this is always fun. And I would be amiss if we didn't take a moment together to remember, like, how awesome FLW was. R.I.P. FLW, man. I mean, I know, ooh, yeah, life goes on long after the thrill of living is gone. Like John Mellencamp, happy birthday, 69 years today, John Mellencamp. But, dude, I mean, let's face it, I don't know what just happened. Sorry, guys. But the fact of the matter is, man, like, there's no more FLW.
No, there's not. I mean, I think it was the right move with what they did, because it was kind of confusing because it kind of seemed like you had 3 different organizations, and it was really, MLF and FLW are the same organization. They're all under the same name. So I think it was the right step just to kind of clear up some confusion. The FLW tour, which is now called the Big 5 Tour, it's going to go on status quo, be as strong as ever, and I think it's just going to continue to grow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man. I mean, you set a lot of records over there, Ryan. I mean, you got some stats.
Yeah,
there,
and FLW doesn't give us the weight stat, unfortunately, but I got some stats for you. I just want to tell you how good FLW was to you. Yeah, or you were to them, however you want to look at it. But you fished for 14 years. That's correct? Is that correct? That's okay. 14 years. You made 13 cups. You got a win there. One of the cups.
Extra protected.
12 wins total out of 174 events. You won $3,027,182. And you averaged $17,397 per tournament out of those 174. That's pretty good. Yeah, that's the biggest number we've actually seen since I started doing the per derb.
Of it like that. I mean, that's pretty cool to break it down like that. I've never seen anybody do that.
Wow, that's amazing.
17,000 per tournament.
Per derb, 17,000. And they don't even have a Bryan Thrift Signature Series Revo yet.
No, not a retro Bryan Thrift Signature Series Revo Gen 1.
Unreal. Do you believe Brad Rutherford? If you're listening, and Andrew Wheeler, guys, make him the thing. Make him the Revo. Gen 1 Revo. It's Bryan Thrift, for crying out loud. Hey, I was hoping that you may notice that
that's those $3 million.
What's that?
Said every bass caught in those 14 years was caught on a Revo reel.
Isn't that something, dude?
$3 million.
$3 million worth of Revo fish right there.
Yeah, exactly.
That is strong, dude. Come on.
I don't know if everybody's playing the Tin Cup drinking game right now, but we've said Revo a lot.
Yeah, you
in the
better
last
catch
15
up.
minutes.
Drink responsibly, please. Hey, I'm hoping that you will join me in song to commemorate the FLW tour, and this is a little song called "The Day That the FLW Tour Died." And
sing a lick, but I'll come along with
no, you don't have to sing. All you got to do is talk and share memories, and I will certainly go first to set the course, to set the path for this.
All right.
Okay, and gang, guys, if you guys want to all turn your microphones on and on this first part, just chime in an FLW memory, because
FLW's not dead though.
Well,
Certainly.
I guess,
it's
but
revamped.
Whatever. The FLW I know is.
Yes, the FLW as we knew it.
It's just a name change. It's
just a name change. But
something's changed its name.
Okay.
What's something changed his name?
Well, this
like Darius Rucker, he used to go by Hootie. So it's kind of the same thing.
or like Prince. Well, you used to change his name.
Yeah.
There you go. Exactly.
Change his name to a treble clef.
Let's talk about the day that the tour formerly known as FLW died. How's that?
I love it.
All right, it goes like this. The day the FLW tour died.
I'll kick this off.
Go ahead. Give me a memory.
Man, my best memory of the FLW tour, other than some great fish being caught, was showing up the first time we went to a cup and walking in to a building. And they said someone's going to meet you at the top of the stairs. And we look up, and it's Bill Taylor. Like, standing at the top of the stairs, like when Leo saw his girl in Titanic standing at the top of the stairs.
Bill Taylor is
unreal.
Magic. He's the magical, mystical.
He was glowing.
Dude, I want to tell you, the first time that I really dug the FLW tour was 2000. And that was a magical year in FLW. A magical year.
Helicopters.
Right? Yeah, helicopters. Jerry McInnes. I mean, that was like Rick Clunn, like everything, man. Rick Clunn was amazing. Okay.
Rick Clunn, everything.
Rick Clunn, everything. That was 2000. Okay. And then Irwin Jacobs with the millennial derbs, man. Like all that money, Brian. Think about it. How
that was my rookie year. I watched Irwin Jacobs hand Scott Suggs $1 million check on stage.
Wow.
Man.
Yeah, and Suggs still has mason jars with that money at his trailer.
Buried.
Do you know that?
Yeah.
he still has that. And man, and I remember Joe Opager bringing us to the cups, man. Thank you, Joe, for all that and introducing us to guys like you, Brian, and forming friendships with guys like you, with guys like John Cox and the amazing anglers of the tour formerly known as FLW. And
the guitar dropped off.
I know. Sorry. I got it. Well, I couldn't do both. I needed to talk and play, and Jen just saying talk or play, and I chose talk. Now it is your turn, Bryan Thrift, and just talk us a memory. I'm going to give you a little background music and talk us your fondest memories of the tour formerly known as FLW, please.
All right. My fondest memory is 2010. It's the year I lost my dad, and I won my very first FLW tour event and won Angler of the Year that year.
Wow. Holy cow. Dude. That's awesome. I mean, that is absolutely awesome. Seriously. Think about it, Brian. Think about it. That, my friend, is what bass fishing is all about. Not the fact, I mean, don't the awesomeness is what came out of it. You know what I mean?
I know what you mean.
Yeah, thank you. I didn't want any misinterpretation, man. I mean, gosh, I was kind of floored. I'll be honest, I was floored by that. Dude, that's what makes you, that's another thing that just makes Bryan Thrift one of the best damn anglers in the world. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for the one and only Bryan Thrift. Yeah. Dude, thank you. Thank you so much.
We learned a lot about you tonight, man.
Yeah. Hey,
good stuff.
We learned a lot about you. Do you realize that?
I do.
Yeah.
Question.
And we learned more about you than the man behind the tackle box on Let's Talk Fish.
That is true.
Hey, what do you wanna say, man? Before we get out of here, what do you want to say?
I don't really have much to say. I'm looking forward to next year and what it brings. Hopefully we get to fish a full season and everything's just getting back rolling. I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited. I jumped into Toyota Series last week at Norman. I was, just had that itch for competition, and I'm ready to get back out there and get gung-ho with it and start preparing and everything, and just looking forward for what's going to happen next year and in the future.
There it is. Bryan Thrift, ruler of the Bass Galaxy 2021. There it is. Thanks, dude. Best of luck with everything.
Thank you, Brian.
When's the next Let's Talk Fish? Next week or what?
If it's not next week, it'll be the week after. Matt's at Santee right now, and I think they have an event at Chick the week after that.
Oh, yeah, they're packed, man. They're like...
Yeah, they're packed in. So as soon as he gets back from Chickamauga, we'll definitely have one, if not before. So don't know yet.
Gotcha. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And the same thing. Good luck to those guys on the elites tomorrow. And I think they're even having it's an odd schedule because of the Ronus. They're even having a championship Monday. I think Matt is.
I don't know the exact days of the schedule. I know they're Santee this week, and then they go straight to Chickamauga.
So I'm gonna have Andy, Andy the Ginger Ninja, our producer here. Andy, schedule them a show for let's see. So it's Championship Monday. Go ahead and schedule. Andy's gonna take over production.
I'll
for
send
you
you
guys.
some emails.
He'll send you some emails. He'll get the whole crew on it off his memo. Okay.
Good deal.
Ladies and gentlemen, give it up one more time for Bryan Thrift right there. Yes. Thanks, dude. Hey, we got one of those college whippersnappers coming on next. Nolan Miner. He just won the big deal over at Cumberland with the collegiate series. So we're going to bring that dude on next, Brian. So, oh, Brian's gone. Brian? Where's Brian? Hey, put the power poles down. Don't go anywhere. I want to remind you, there's still time for the like and share contest. Like and share the live Facebook feed. Take it off a private. Chance to win Abu Garcia prize as well as Tin Cup Whiskey prize. Put them down. Those power poles. It's Nolan Miner with a very, very special, overused word, special surprise. Be right back.
This is the mountain, and this is mountain whiskey. Unspoiled, untamed, forever wild. There's no safety net, no way down. Up here, it's just man, and the mountain, and his tin cup. Tin Cup Whiskey. Mountain whiskey.
T-minus 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Booster ignition and liftoff.
Step up your game. It has been said that professionals are only as good as the tools they work with, and Alpha Angler has developed the ultimate set of tools for you, the competitive angler. Alpha Angler custom rods, brought to fruition by the passion of master craftsman Jake Boomer and 2017 BASS Angler of the Year Brandon Palaniuk. Alpha Angler rods are custom made in the USA, designed and engineered to be perfect. Alpha Angler utilizes a very unconventional approach to making the very best bass rods, from drop shotting to flipping. Alpha Angler's focus is on building perfectly balanced tournament-grade bass rods at an affordable price. Join the Alphalution today and purchase direct at alphaangler.com. Step up your game. alphaangler.com.
Throw farther, get some Kevin Van Dam's line and lure. You can launch it a mile. Still going. Well, better stick to fishing.
Welcome back. All right. Pretty good. Pretty neat. We bring to you right now one of the shining stars, the shooting stars of the bass fishing galaxy, and he is, as they say in the industry, Ryan,
a meteorite,
and fresh off his win on the Lake Cumberland.
coming up
off his hot win on Cumberland Lake in the Bassmaster Collegiate Series. Yeah, it's ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Nolan Miner. It's Nolan Miner. Yes, Nolan, how are you?
I'm doing well.
You're doing good. Yeah, I gotta tell you, you look a little nervous. Why do you look nervous? You shouldn't be nervous around us.
I don't know what you're going to throw at me, Pat. I got to stay prepared.
Yeah.
Even if you're nervous, you shouldn't look nervous.
He does. Yeah. I mean, you might not be nervous, but you do look a little nervous. I mean, I don't know what to tell you, Nolan Miner.
I don't blame you.
Yeah, he looks a little. You're hanging out with a bunch of ruffians. Did you ask your parents if it was okay if you hung out with us tonight?
Yeah, I did.
And they're cool.
all right
They're
with
cool
it.
with everything.
They're watching right now, so don't say
Okay,
anything
good.
too bad.
So be on your best behavior, guys. Gotcha, dude. Congratulations to you, and Casey. First off, on your victory, bro. That's a big deal, isn't it? I mean, real, isn't it?
Thank you. Yeah, I'm pretty excited about it.
It's one of your posts said, and correct me if I'm wrong or if I'm mixing it up, but all the hours. What are the hours, man? The hours paid off. What are the hours?
Yeah, it's some Malcolm Gladwell thing about 10,000 hours until you become an expert at something. It's something along the lines of that. That's what I was referencing with that post.
There's a dollar amount to that too, isn't there? You got to spend at least
I don't know.
20,000 to learn something correctly.
60% of the time, you make your money back every time.
That's right.
Yes, if you put 10,000 hours in. And it's the fish of 10,000 hour casts, which is the muskie.
Yeah.
But that's not what we're talking about here.
Yeah, you get a follow at 5,000.
Exactly. We're way off. But dude,
anyways,
but seriously, 10,000 hours equates to expertise or becoming an expert in a field. And do you feel where are you at in your hours? Where are you at in that 10,000 clockage?
I don't think that I'm an expert by any means. I think maybe for fishing it takes more than 10,000, but I'm pretty sure, like I did the math at some point, I'm pretty sure I've probably done it.
You're probably at that 10K mark.
Yeah. I've been fishing for a while. Maybe not bass, but something.
But I mean, that's what makes you an angler, a versatile angler. What the heck is that? You hear that, Nolan? I don't know what the hell's going on here.
I see a name, and I'm not sure who it is, but I might be sure.
What? Ladies and gentlemen, is it KVD? Is it Mike Iaconelli? Oh, great. Oh, wait. Let's stand up and shout. There's Eric Guarjarnino.
We're here.
I see Eric. What else is going? Eric, former intern for the Ike Live show. Like, why are you here? We don't know that. And what else is going on? I don't see anything. Should I see things? What is going on? What? Oh,
there we go.
Oh my goodness, great! It's Johnny. Fly so high, right there. Flow so high. Johnny flow so high. Johnny flows. Holy
Thank you for having us back.
Dude, it's Uncle Larry's Outdoors. It's those guys. And Nolan, you know who these cats are?
Yeah, I do. I've rubbed elbows with them.
Well, what we have tonight is a Uncle Larry's Outdoors hostile takeover. And basically what they are going to do is interview you right now, Nolan Miner, on your tournament victory. And I'm just going to sit here and look dumb for a while. How's that?
Yeah, I had a feeling when I saw that name Johnny. That's when I said I wasn't sure who it was, but I had an idea.
Yeah, that's Johnny Flows. That's Johnny Flow Fly Flow High. Johnny Flow So Flow Flow Fly. And Eric Guarnarna Narna. Eric, you look amazing. By the way, may I say that the frock is on fleek.
Thank you, Pat. I really do appreciate that. You know, I was looking like a Justin Bieber without any money or a stylist about a week ago, so it feels good to actually be able to see again.
They call Ryan Whitaker a poor man's Seth Fighter. Did you know that?
Is that true?
No, I did not.
They do. That's somebody when we made a post about you.
That's very nice. Thank you.
So what's our that's really poor. That's
yeah.
But no, you guys look amazing, and I want to tell you right now that I'm really not into the whole YouTubing thing. It's really not my bag of yapkas. Do you know what yapkas are?
No.
Yapkas,
nope. Never heard of those.
Yapkas are Polish apples. Or apples in Polish. They don't necessarily.
Latkes are Jewish pancakes.
Well, ooh,
so there you go.
That's true.
You're making me hungry, Mr. Guarnarna.
Potato.
Yes, potato pancakes.
Yes.
So a bag of yapkas, right? I'm not really into the whole YouTube deal, but like I like your guys' stuff. You guys are real. It's authentic. It's like real corn chips at the Mexican restaurant compared to the crappy kind at the dollar store.
It's
Do you know what
authentic.
I mean? And I like that. I like that about you guys. So I want to tell everybody right now before I hand the show over to you guys that if you haven't subscribed or check out Uncle Larry's Outdoors, then do so. You're a dum-dum if you don't, plain and simple. With that, I give to you the first ever Uncle Larry Outdoors interview of real kick-ass fisherman kind of guy, Nolan Miner, right now. Uncle Larry's, It's all yours. It's all yours, guys.
All right. Mr. Nolan Miner. First of all, how you doing, bud?
Doing all right.
We have an interesting history, man. It's kind of cool to see when we first met at the Bassmaster Classic a few years ago to where we're at now. It's quite the transformation, man. First and foremost, I just want to ask straight up, how does it feel, man? How you feel sitting there right now with the deal finally sealed? I know that you kind of felt for a while there. You had the second place curse going for you. I know there's been some real tough, close calls, especially at that Bassmaster Classic qualifier. You've been through a lot, man. So how does it feel sitting here, finally first place champion?
Yeah, it feels really good. I'm enjoying it now, but the way that I process things, it's like it's now starting to become another step in that ladder that I'm trying to, climb. But yeah, super pumped. Very glad to have that giant monkey off my back because he was there for a while. He was giving me a pretty hard time.
Nice.
He was, yeah. So I want to start with the practice because you kind of strike me as the type of bassin man to go out there and say, oh, horrible practice. I'm not on a dang thing. And then you go and win the tournament. And I got that vibe from you this week when I saw that Instagram story post talking about, oh, what a lake, what a week. And it's you holding up this really skinny one. I'm like, oh, he might be on something this week.
That's called sandbagging. That's a sandbagger, Mr. Eric.
Speak on that, Nolan.
Yeah, he's a sandbagger.
So people love to call me that, but I really don't think that I am. And it kind of, so like I hated weighing 4 fish on day 2, but I was like, see guys, like that was when I brought in 4, I was like, guys, I promise that I'm not, I'm being serious when I say that the lake is not fishing very well right now.
So what made you think that during practice? Were you just not getting many bites, or where was the inconsistencies at for you?
Yeah, we weren't getting many bites, and it was, for me to feel good about something, like I need to be having a pattern that kind of holds. And for me at Cumberland, it didn't seem that way. There was, we ended up picking out a section of the lake that we stayed in where we could get a couple bites. And I don't really like fishing like that. I would like to be able to run all over the place and follow a pattern. But that wasn't happening. So I felt like my area was not very big, which I don't like because I want to have a bunch of fish to keep catching and keep catching. Didn't have that. It was just kind of all out of sorts. And it was like the theme was like you're out on this huge lake and the water's really clear and it's super deep everywhere. So you go like maybe somewhere that's a little more comfortable. Like you run all the way to the back of this big creek, the water's stained, it's kind of shallower sloping banks, and everybody in the whole tournament's back there and there's no fish. There's not even, you don't even catch them in the backs of the creeks where everybody is. So I don't know why everybody was back there, but yeah, it wasn't like, okay, like, well, this is obvious, but you can at least catch fish there. There was nothing obvious to catch fish on it for me anyway.
Right. So you're sitting there morning of day 1 takeoff floating with Casey. What's going through your head? Are you on a more of we're just kind of going to wing it mentality, just go fishing? Besides that one area, did you have much to lean back on? Because I know on day 2, something interesting happened that kind of changed your tournament. So I'm just trying to kind of gauge where your mindset was at.
May I interject one moment, guys? I like how this is like a regular bass show now.
Yeah.
This is like what a like this. I like it. I like the dirt. I like the dart, and I like that Johnny's just sitting there. Like there you go.
I was gonna say Johnny.
I got some questions.
Like
John Eric's role because Eric's he's pumping out questions I wouldn't be thinking of. So I'm just letting him roll as long as he's going. I got plenty for Nolan. Don't worry.
Oh yeah.
I can relate to you, Johnny.
Johnny's gearing up. He's gearing. Ryan.
He's in the cut. He's ready.
Okay, so I guess we're the morning of day 1.
Yes,
so we had when it's really tough, if I can find a spot where I feel like I can pull up here and I'll catch one, I like to start there because like getting the ball rolling is kind of nice, like settles you down a little bit. And there was this, I don't know, the lake was drawn down, so any wood that was in the water was really good because there's nothing else. The lake was like 16 feet low, I think. And there was a bunch of brush on one little bank, and in practice I hooked a little spotted bass on a top water, and as I'm reeling him in, there was a wolf pack of I don't know, 6 or 7 fish. There were smallmouth, there were big spotted bass, there were big largemouth, and they all followed him in. And I was like, okay, that's the only cool thing I've seen this week. I'll come back here. So we started there, and I caught almost a 3-pound largemouth, on my first cast to this piece of brush. It was very stressful because I line up and I'm like, all right, can't hardly catch a fish here, and I got to make this cast. Don't hang it up in the brush. But yeah, made the cast, caught that one, and then I kind of kept the trolling motor down, and stayed in the same general area. And we started getting some bites. They were small fish, but we really just, kept our heads down and fished and kind of put it together from there. And it wasn't much. It was one area of the lake where I could keep running the backs of the pockets and catch a fish every now and then. It wasn't that predictable.
So as far as
Nolan, Eric, let me get something in. I guess I had a quick question on that. Because I wanted to just real quick interject and congratulate Nolan. I haven't got a chance to really do that, man. That's unbelievable accomplishment, first of all. So it's been awesome keeping up with you. As I'm sure you know, I'm not the most technically skilled fisherman, especially as a bass guy. So one thing that I know Pat was kind of touching on with those 10,000 hours to master something, I think something that's interesting about fishing is you're never fishing 10,000 hours for the same fish in the same lake, same techniques, etc. So you're never really mastering anything, I think. You're just getting slightly better. So when you've got a limited amount of time on the water and you're fishing a tournament and the bite's as tough as it was, what percentage of this win is kind of like a natural instinct that you kind of just have or you don't? Or is there any element of that whatsoever?
Yeah, so when people talk about having a fishing instinct, I don't like tough tournaments, but I always do well in them. And I really don't like it. It makes me want to beat my head in on the windshield of my boat when I'm out there fishing, but I always seem to do really well. I don't like it.
It's punishment.
But part of that is the instinct of kind of being able to put something together when what your plan isn't working. I like a tournament where it's a pattern and everything's clicking and I'm, calmly upgrading throughout the day. But then I always seem to do well in the ones where it's when you catch one in the start of the day, you're like, I'm not going to zero. That's the tournaments I do the best in. So,
and that's exactly what happened.
That makes a lot of sense, man.
And that's exactly what happened on day 2 for you, correct? I mean, from what I gathered, you guys went off to do something that you really hadn't done much during practice. So speak on when you're getting those you got, I guess, 2 shallow bites for the majority of day 2. When was the moment where you mentally decided, okay, let's do it?
So the first day we ran top water and fished the backs of pockets, and Casey flipped a jig the whole time because that was something in practice we found he would get 1 or 2 bites a day. So he just stuck with that. I stuck with my thing. We caught some fish. It made sense, enough sense. So we tried to do it again on day 2. It was not happening. The first day we had 5 fish at 9 o'clock. On day 2, I think I had 1 bite at 9 o'clock, and it was on a shaky head. So, not good. And so I'm trolling through. Cumberland has standing timber, but it's small trees, but it has standing timber. And so we'd been fishing that, and the fish were definitely using it. And we're snaking through some of this timber on the trolling motor, and I look and I just see a bass laying on the surface in one of these trees. And I have a Senko ready because I always when it's tough, or honestly all the time, you never know when you're going to see one. So I have this Senko ready, so I throw my rod down and pick the Senko up and skip it out there, and he shoots out there and eats it. And I catch that one, and it's all right, great, we got one, but that means nothing. That fish, we can't go do that anymore. There's not another random fish laying in the top of a tree out in the middle of nowhere. So we caught that one, and at that point I was like, okay, this is one of our better areas, we think, and that just happened. That's not good. We saw some more fish, and when I threw a bait to them, they just freaked out, they spooked. I was like, okay, that's 2 really bad signs right off the bat. We got to change something. So we started running around like chickens with our heads cut off, which is, kind of what you have to do sometimes. Ran, 5 miles up some creek to where we thought we could catch 12-inch spotted bass. And I caught a smallmouth, and I lost a really good fish. And at this point, I guess that means it was probably about 1:30, and we had 2 fish. And, that's coming off of leading the tournament on day 1. So we're out there we really had a shot at something, and now it's getting late in the day. This sucks. This is not fun, And so we went back to our same area thinking that maybe the mood of these fish has changed. We go back, we fish through it. Nothing has changed. So now we're running out of time, and I'm like, well, let's just go drag a Carolina rig, because we had a buddy we were staying with. You're allowed to talk with competitors, about whatever you want. And he, in practice, had been catching some really big smallmouth, dragging a Carolina rig on just like the worst looking points. Like it's this stupid gravel shale stuff.
Ryan Whitaker's mad about that. Don't talk about.
I'm not mad. It's an age old technique, but God,
nobody's
good
not
on
as many
smallmouth.
people are doing it. They're dropping shots. They're dropping shots and dragging the tubes and really.
And I think that's maybe why this Carolina rig is good, because even though it's big line and like big old weight clinking through the rocks, it's not what they're used to seeing in the smallmouth on Cumberland.
It draws them. It draws them to it.
Yeah, you can call them. You do the shake weight. You just do the shake weight.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You guys know the shake weight. Johnny does. You know that.
I love the shake weight.
Yeah, I know. Keeps you strong.
But yeah, so
keeps
we
your
end
pin
up
pan strong.
We had we end up back in our same area where we've been, and I think it was 3:30, and we had to check in at 4:10, and we had to leave at 4 to make it in time. So we just start dragging Carolina rigs, kind of meandering our way around a couple points. And when you're stressed and like needing to catch a fish, dragging a Carolina rig is the last thing you want to do. Like it is so hard.
You're like,
We have no time.
It's like a 10-minute retrieve.
Oh, it's crazy.
But everything else we had tried had been so bad. It was like, this is what we got to do. If it's, we just got to keep doing it. So it was 3:55. We have to leave at 4. And I throw this Carolina rig out on the end of a point. I don't know. It was like 25 feet deep. I start dragging it, rod starts to swim off. I set the hook. I'm like, oh, it's a big one, Reel him in. He scoops him up. And our first initial reaction, we were like, with that fish, we're probably going to have to go fishing again tomorrow. And we weren't even like excited about it. It was so bad. We were like, unfortunately, like it's so bad. And like, now we're probably going to go fish tomorrow. We thought we'd be like, in the bottom of the top 12 with that fish, but caught that one. So we're like scrambling to get it off the hook. I look down, GPS says 3:57. So we got time for like one more cast. Casey throws out there and catches a spot that was like, I don't know. We threw it in the live well. We ended up throwing it back later, but it was almost 12 inches. Now it's like 3:58. I don't know. I'm scrambling. Casey throws out there again with a shaky head and catches another smallmouth, a keeper. They only had to be 12 inches, and he caught like 13 and a half inch smallmouth. So we throw that one in there, pick the trolling motor up, zip back to the ramp, and we weigh in, and we're in second place, 3 ounces out of first. So we had that much of a train wreck of a day, and that just goes to show how tough the fishing was. That we're like, still right there, like basically nothing changed.
It's like that guy you used to work for, Eric. He always says, "Don't stop trying." Right?
That guy.
That master of bad water.
Yeah. Don't stop trying. He yelled that when he
That's
won
his
the
phrase.
classic.
It's written everywhere.
Yes, he has the tattoo. Sorry, guys. Day 3.
So
yeah. Oh, go ahead.
So that last second move to fish that deep point and get those bites, I'm assuming clued you into what you were going to do on the start of day 3. Did you run right to that water, or what was the thought process like?
Yes. So on day 3, we decided we were going to commit to definitely doing that more, spending more time dragging, because, we caught that big smallmouth doing it. Our shallow bite was really fading. We did try it in the morning for a little bit just to keep it honest, because you never know when the conditions are going to flip flop. It did not. We tried and it didn't at all. So we end up, I don't know. I think I waited like maybe an hour, like fished other stuff for an hour before I started on that point. Cause I was like, it's kind of like when you start on your best stuff. Like if I started on that same spot and didn't get a bite, I would have been so heartbroken. I was like, I need to ease into this, before I start on it.
Right.
So we get to this spot and we fish it for like, it's not a big point. And we sit there and we drag on this thing for like, I don't know, 25 minutes. Like we've been there a while, and I'm fan casting this point, and I'm like, all right, I'm going to make like maybe one more cast after this. And I don't remember if it was my last cast on that point or the cast that I was already making, but I remember making that decision like, all right, it's probably time to go. And I set the hook, and it was one of those, Lake Cumberland, like, I don't know, 18 and a half, 19 and a half, somewhere inch smallmouth, like one of those good, big smallmouth for our tournament. I know they get bigger in there, but that was a big fish. So we put that one in the box, and now it's like, all right, maybe that Carolina rig thing isn't a fluke. That was not just a random bite yesterday. Let's keep this rolling. So I guess I idled, but we literally go like a couple 100 yards to the outside of this pocket we were in and throw out there on that point. and catch another big one. And I was like,
Wow.
you know, at that was like really, because, you know, now it's like, okay, it's not just the spot we caught one yesterday. We duplicated it.
You're pattern fishing,
And,
bro.
Right. If
yeah.
it's one, it's a fluke. If it's two, it's a pattern.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that
Nice.
dude
Very
down in
good,
South
Eric.
Jersey says.
So so after that, we just, you know, bounced around back and forth to different points that fit the description in our area. We ended up getting 5 bites. I think the 5th one came at like 1:30 in the afternoon. So it definitely wasn't fast and furious by any means. And like I said, you're sitting there dragging this Carolina rig, and your mind is not going as slow as that bait is at all. But you just have to do it.
So
And,
catfishing.
Yeah, it came together.
Basically. And I want to remind everybody too that this is a college derb, okay? And keep in mind, it's a 3-day tournament, all right?
Yeah.
It's hard to win a 1-day tournament. You know, we always hear the elite guys say it's a 4-day event. That's like it's really hard to
marathon.
It's really hard to win a 4-day event. Well, a 3-day event's the same way, man. You eliminate luck. I mean, of course, there's always that element in fishing, but what I'm hearing from you, Nolan Miner, as a young angler, I'm learning from you right now, and this is serious, Pat. You don't see this side too much, but the fact of the matter is, what I gather from this is you vividly remember every detail of this tournament. All right, Eric, you asked amazing questions. Johnny, you said something once. I don't remember what you said, but but you remember every moment vividly, man. It's playing back in your skull as you talk about it now. That whole movie is playing, all right? And you learned from the event, and you put it together. 3 days. You and Casey, dude. You and Casey. Let's not forget Casey.
Yep.
But okay, we got to.
Here, I can give him a shout out. So on the first day, we're in that weird timber stuff.
Yeah.
I go to sling I was throwing that Berkeley Chapo. It's like the whopper popper. I go to sling it, and I hang it in the tree.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there messing with it. And so Casey comes up to the front deck, and he just pitches. And mind you, like, we are in these trees, right? Like, they're rubbing on the boat. Like,
I love it. Yes.
He flips his jig out in front of the boat and sets the hook. He's like, I got a big one. And I hear his fluorocarbon singing and stuff. And I look, and one of those trees is like just sitting there shaking and swaying.
Gosh.
I can see this fish down, I don't know, probably 5 feet down. The water is pretty clear. So I just throw my rod, right? And we troll up, and I grab the net, and I'm trying to like reach down there and stab and scoop this thing up where I can see it because it's so knotted up on this tree. But when I put the net down there, it scared the fish, and the fish swam back out of the tree and came to the surface, and I scooped it up, and it was like, It was probably a 4-pounder, and he caught it flipping a jig in timber in the back of a pocket. So that was like that. You know, sometimes you get those lucky bites. That was one. Like, it doesn't happen often, but it is very appreciated when it does happen.
Yeah. And
Nolan, I want to know what you were dragging on the back of that ball and chain.
There you go.
Oh, so we honestly, I started that tournament. I had, the Riot Baits, Fuzzy Beaver. I had the little one. I think I had like 4 of them in a pack because I wasn't planning on doing it. And I was like, these look pretty good. So I put one on there, caught one on that, ran out. And then the next day I had 4, maybe it was 3 Z-Craw Juniors that my buddy gave me. Used those, ran out, and then we had a baby D-bomb, which was pretty close. So we were like, all right. And normally I'm not like that, right? Like normally I would have 6 packs of whatever I'm about to throw. But it was like, it's on the back of a Carolina rig. It's a little green-brown thing about like that. It doesn't matter. As long as you put it where it's supposed to be, they'll probably
Doesn't
bite
matter.
it.
Nice.
Put it where it
Having
doesn't belong.
6 packs of whatever you're about to throw is not something
That's not Uncle Larry.
Yeah,
what I did was very Uncle Larry style. By just,
It sure was.
using it until I was out of it and throw the next one. Yeah.
I've actually seen them wacky rig gummy worms and Vienna sausages.
Yeah,
to catch fish in Central Park.
But not for YouTube clout. Not for YouTube clout. It's because we don't have any lures.
No, I get it. I mean, it's real. It's real. But hey, I want to go back.
This last tournament I won, JP gave me 2 speed cross before the tournament.
JP had 4, so that's a good friend. That's
2 baits, and I lost one on the first cast, so I had 1.
You know the old saying on the streets: a friend with speed craws is a friend indeed.
Yeah,
that's what they say. But hey, 3 days, guys. 3 days. Eric, Johnny, do you realize that your buddy and Casey, and your buddy Casey too, put it together 3-day derb, Eric? 3 days.
I do, and I find it so interesting how
39 pounds, 2 ounces.
Listen, it started off, they have absolutely no pattern. They're running around. And then look, by the end of the third day, they're patterning fish on points with Carolina rigs.
Nuts.
Those are the kind of in-tournament adjustments you got to make.
Especially when it's tough, Nolan, like, because I can relate as a competitor, but I've never competed in fishing. I had done baseball and a lot of other things for my whole life, but never really competed in fishing. And the one thing I find interesting is it's the only sport where there's actually like a third living variable. It's not like me. You have your opponents, but then also the fish, and that's really unique to fishing.
Sure.
Are you, when you're like in these tough situations, are you working and competing like with the fish on the water, or are you working like against them? Are you almost competing against them to figure out a pattern?
Bastards.
So that kind of makes me think of something that's important that people, I think, overlook in tournament fishing. Not experienced tournament anglers, but some people that, don't do it as much. Fishing pressure is something you really have to factor into your game plan. It's not just what are these fish doing and how am I going to catch them. It's okay, I got to catch these fish. This is what they're doing. But everybody is probably going to do this, or like this strategy is going to, this might only work on the first day because everybody's going to catch those fish. And the first day, those fish were on stuff that was so painfully obvious because it's a drawdown lake, right? And there's wood in the water. Like, that is not hard to see. The fish don't have anywhere else to go. They're going to be on it, and everybody is going to make a cast to it with something. And that was what happened. So, yeah, there's definitely a lot to it because like you said, it's a level playing field, but there's a lot of variables. It's not like a, field goal.
The players aren't going to move the goalposts.
No.
Stratego. You sunk my battleship.
Yeah.
Like multi-species fishing is something too that you're always posting about and we've talked about in the past. And do you think, especially when it's a tough day, is there any element to you having a lot of experience outside of just bass fishing that you can then bring into a tournament that's going to give you maybe a bit of a unique angle or a way to beat some of these guys that because you have some unique experience that they might not have just being tournament anglers?
Yeah, it's hard to say. I can't think of something specifically, but I guarantee that fishing for all sorts of fish helps me bass fish. I couldn't give you like a specific example, but yeah, for sure.
Keeps you sharp. Definitely keeps you sharp.
Yeah.
So Nolan, I want to get into a little bit more of the mind of a college tournament champion and what else helps you win. So like your morning routine. First of all, I want to know, are you a 1 alarm guy or like a 20 alarm guy? The guys that got to set 20 alarms before they wake up because they know they're going to miss 10 of them.
Guilty.
Where do you fall on that spectrum?
It honestly depends. So I guess I am a morning person kind of. It's really hard for me to wake up, but once I'm up, I love it. I love being up like before the rest of the world is, like,
nice.
Watching watching nature wake up. Like, I love that.
Watching cartoons.
But yeah, I gotta set. I usually go about 3, and but in a college tournament, it doesn't matter. I'm staying with all my buddies, so like they're gonna wake me up if I don't get up. Same goes, the other way. I'm staying in a house with. I think this was the smallest house we ever had. We had 6 or 7 guys.
I saw Eric's college house once. I did.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. Remember?
that's
Eric?
not good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm embarrassed that you saw that.
Guilty.
So you wake up, whether it's 3 alarms or whatever it may be. What music are you bumping in the morning, Nolan? What's the go-to? What gets the energy going? Or are you not listening to music at all? Are you a silent type?
We don't. It depends. So I don't listen to music. So the time that I do listen to music is when I take off, like and it's terrible because but I love it. I love listening to music while I'm running to my first stop of the day. Right.
Okay.
But like
headphones
I'm
in?
like going through check-in, like trying to stick my earbuds in, and but I try to do it. Cause I like getting excited for it. Some people say, like, I had a buddy who said, like, if I listen to music, on my run, I'll get too excited. Like when I get there, I'm jittery and I need to be calm. But for me, I think I can like channel that like positive energy, and it helps in a tough tournament. Like at least you get excited by listening to some cool music on your way.
I can't shut it off. The voices and the music, they're constantly in my head. So
I'm sure they are.
It doesn't matter.
So what is it? What's the morning run music?
Yeah, what is it? What are you jamming?
Let's hear some. Yeah.
Oh gosh, for me, it really depends. Like, I don't know, Foo Fighters I'll listen to. That's good. That was, yeah, I've got a couple songs that like repeatedly, because like I've listened to them from like high school. Like there's some songs that I like, they're kind of like I'm sick of them, but on that morning run I can get excited. You know what I mean? Like I won't listen to them. I've listened to them so many times that like that's the only time that
You just got Hero.
Did you
Hero
know that?
on
Yeah, Chris
repeat.
Grow was in the Foo Fighters. My buddy Chris Grow. In fact, Kentucky.
He used to be Dave Grohl.
Yeah, he used to be Dave Grohl, but Kentucky whiskey guy from Ike Live the other night. Chris Grow and I used to be in the Foo Fighters, and your wife used to visit us all the time on the road. Just so you know. So thanks, Kentucky bourbon fan whiskey guy from Ike Live the other night. We love your wife.
Thank you.
We love his wife. Anyway, guys, sorry to interrupt.
No, that's good. So
Foo Fighters, what else?
Quick question on like that, the mindset on the way you're building up that excitement on the way. So obviously though, when the bite's tough and maybe that initial adrenaline dies down, have you ever felt on the water that maybe if like you make the same cast and things are tough with a little bit less energy, a little bit more negative energy versus the same exact cast with more positive energy, more of a competitive mindset? Do you see different outcomes on the water in tournaments depending on where you're at mentally?
I'm not going to answer your question. I'm bad about this because I'll just go all over the place, my scatterbrainness. But when I'm like going down the bank, you're talking about like seeing different outcomes. I like when I make a cast, I'm like, what if I would have done this? Like, would the outcome have been different? I'm thinking that the whole time, like what it's bad. And in
like
tournaments it's really bad because sometimes
on the water kind of
like, yeah, because sometimes you'll catch a fish on a cast that like maybe you weren't going to make, or you're like, do I go these last 50 yards or do I just need to go now? Do I need to make my move now? And sometimes, maybe the very next flip you were going to make could have been a 5-6 pounder, and you have no way to predict that. And so it's all those little decisions, and
that drives you nuts.
That's really that's really Nolan. Do you ever do it? I do this one a lot. I want to know if you ever do this one, like where you're like, you just said, you catch one on a cast that maybe you didn't think you were going to catch one. Do you ever think about a cast where you're like, I totally shouldn't make that cast, but then you're like, but I'm going to make it anyways? You're doubting the direction of the cast, but then you just make it because you're doubting it, and then you think that that's going to get you a bite. You ever have that?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely will like put.
Well,
the
isn't
bait
that
places
intuition?
It doesn't belong.
Isn't that what that is?
Well, it's like
even though you think it might be wrong, you're second guessing your
well,
intuition.
I think it's for me. It's like I think it's so wrong that I should do it.
Okay.
I don't know if that makes any sense, but it's like, yeah, I shouldn't make that cast, but then you make that cast.
Like over a dock or something where you're like, this
well, that's
not going to end well.
Well,
but
either that or like there's a really good looking spot that you
But you're
want
gonna
to throw
throw a
to,
bad
but then you
spot. I
throw
don't know.
like 10 feet to the left of that spot because you're like, maybe that's where they're at because everybody made that cast because it looks too good. So,
yes, that actually I was trying to make sure to throw to, because I'm thinking like when I'm going on the bank, I'm like, okay, well, like everybody obviously threw there.
Right.
What if, or, try a different angle on something. And we were fishing points that look terrible. Like they look like garbage. I can't stress that enough. They look so bad. There's all these beautiful rocks on Cumberland. There's chunk rock, there's bluffs. We're just fishing like dumb gravel that's like the color of my t-shirt. And when the water laps up on it, it makes like this milky color. It's terrible, but that's where they lived.
So you pulled up and said, this point sucks. Let's fish it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that happens
It's awesome.
constantly.
And it got overlooked.
Yeah, no
I think it
matter
got
when
overlooked.
you're fishing.
Totally.
You could be like, oh, this place sucks, or there ain't no fish here. And that's kind of like, it happens so often, doesn't it? Like, that's when they come up and they'll eat it. Like, you're like, there ain't, let's get out of here. There ain't nothing happening.
Well, and there's spots on lakes too. Like I've talked about this with other guys. Like you go to a lake and if you go there for the first time, you put your boat in, and then you're like, there's always something first that catches your eye. There's an eye catcher spot, and everybody seems to be caught by that spot also. But then there's those spots that like nobody ever sees.
Those are blind
even though it
spots.
might be
They're
good. Yeah, it's a blind
spots.
spot.
Yeah.
They call
and then it
that-
takes
they call
years
that a sneak
sometimes to
hole.
get there. A sneak hole. Exactly.
There you go. The
Yeah.
snake snakes. Yep, the sneaky snakes.
So you almost want to go against what you're thinking.
Absolutely.
sometimes.
Hey, we're
Yeah.
against the clock here, guys, and I want to
Let's
let
go
you
against
know.
the clock.
Let's go against the clock right now. So I'm going to turn it over here to Johnny. And then, Johnny, I need you to go way up into that brain of yours and And if you haven't already used your best question of the evening, I need you to really fire it at Nolan Miner here. Really make them.
Okay, my best question.
Yeah, like your closing song.
My closing
Yes,
song.
like it's got to be good. Don't suck.
It's the encore.
Yeah, don't
Okay.
make this can't be a bad question. It has to be the best question ever on a bass fishing talk show. No pressure whatsoever, John, but it's got to be really good. Like the best question. No, wait, hold on, Johnny. Johnny, no, seriously though. The best question ever on a bass talk show. So if it's not going to be the best one ever, then don't even ask it. Tell me when you're ready.
I'm ready right now.
All right, so what it has to be is the best question ever.
I'm as confident as the Yankees were rolling into game one.
There you
I
go.
think
Johnny
they're
flow,
down
so
2-1.
flop, flop, flow high.
Okay.
You're up. Go.
Okay. Yeah, so, I mean, Nolan, one thing I've really noticed with you is just you have such an unbelievable amount of focus and drive in the sport. Like, I can't even relate to that. I do it for fun, and you're such a competitive but also, like, fun guy out on the water. Are you always chasing the feeling of fishing almost because like you've now experienced how powerful it is to win out on the water? You've experienced that almost feeling of like manifesting events on the water, that like day-to-day life for you is now almost mundane. Like, do you have to be out there? Where's your head at when you're not fishing?
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely enjoy fishing a lot more than normal life. But it's like so that you have tournament fishing and then you have fun fishing, and I definitely need both. Like, I think there's some guys that could compete constantly and be okay, but like if all I ever did was fish tournaments, I would have gray hair right now. And so it's very stressful. And so like yesterday I went and fun fished, and I had a fish miss my bait, and like it was fine, I was like, wow, that sucked. I think that was great.
It's okay.
So
it's just okay, right?
They call that a laugher.
Yeah,
it is. Yeah. So I try not to be too competitive, because I mean, right now, I guess I could really be consumed by that, and I would be worried about being burnt out on competitive fishing early if I really just went crazy with it. So I try to remember to have fun with it, because I mean, even this past tournament, yeah, we won the thing, but I stressed so much every day of that tournament.
It's the pace.
So why, like, if you have fun with all of it, why, if you could just summarize in one thing, why is fishing important to you as a person? Like, if tournament fishing ended tomorrow, why is it important that you're out there?
Ooh.
It just makes me feel good. It's what brings me joy. That's like makes me happier than almost anything. Like if like everything was bad and I could fish, like I would be okay. Like,
yeah, dude.
Is it accomplishment? Is that what brings you the joy? Is it the feeling of accomplishment, or is it different?
Somewhat. Yeah, I mean, like tournament fishing is super cool, being able to accomplish stuff. But like, I just like catching fish so much. Like I can, like Eric and I are gonna go camp on the Ohio River this weekend, and like I might have more fun there than I did at Cumberland. Like, we're gonna like fish for catfish and walleye and like dumb stuff like that. But like we're gonna have a blast, and I love that just as much. Like I gotta have it all.
JP needs fish for the freezer, so if you guys catch some, send this way.
We will.
Yeah.
Hey, I got to ask you this, Nolan. Okay, before we go, it would be amiss if I did not ask you this. Did you watch some of Bryan Thrift before?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I watched it.
I need to ask you, like, what I learned a bunch. There was some cool AF information that he gave, if you might want to say. Like, what did you get out of it? What was something that could make you a better fisherman from Bryan Thrift's interview?
Yeah, well, you guys were very interested when you asked him if there was a particular fish loss that haunted him, and he said no. And like, I'm sure he's had some awful losses, because that's part of tournament fishing, and he's been competing enough that it's, he's had some terrible losses for sure, but he doesn't fixate on that. Mm-hmm. And I have a hard time not doing that, right? Like, because there's definitely been some losses that I wish would have maybe gone the other way, just close finishes that, could have gone the other way. And that he said he remembers all of his favorite fish catches. He said it's all, happy, just good energy.
Dude, that's a champion.
So,
that's a champion.
Yeah.
Right there. And Nolan Miner, you are a champion, dude. Congratulations.
Now.
Congratulations. You are now
Congrats,
a bass Now. Yeah.
Yes.
Dude.
Yeah, man.
Hey, I want to thank you. Eric,
Uh-oh.
go ahead.
I got
Eric,
one last question.
go ahead.
One last
You do
question
it.
for
Andy's
Nolan,
mad
man.
at you. Andy, tell him how mad you are at Eric
Listen,
right now.
listen, bud. I just got one thing.
Can
for
you put the camera on you, Andy, right now?
All right. Andy's mad at me. I
Yes.
still got to ask one last question.
Yes.
Nolan, you got to give up one thing. These are two very integral things for your tournament success: Crocs or Mountain Dew Kickstart. Which you giving up?
I give up the kickstart. There's a lot of energy drinks out there. There's no other Crocs.
Crocs.
You can't replace that.
Wrong answer.
All right, go.
Here it is. Hey, Nolan Miner, I want to say it again, just so it sinks in. Eric, I want to say it to you, and I want to say it to you, Johnny. Your buddy there, Nolan Miner, he's a champion. He's a champion, guys. Yes, that is right.
And Casey Lanier.
Hey, we'll see more Uncle Larry's outdoors in the future here on Stray Casts, and I hope that Nolan Miner wins another tournament, and then we just keep having you on, and we'll get Casey on with you. Do you fish all the derbs with Casey? Forgive me for not knowing.
Yeah, no, all the college tournaments we typically. I mean, there's maybe been like one or two we've not fished together, but yeah, for the most part.
That's your partner.
Mm.
That's your partner in crime.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got you. I like it. Hey, again, dude, amazing victory. Add that notch on the belt, and Johnny and Eric, great job on Uncle Larry's. I mean it. It's great. I'm not really into the YouTube thing, but it's a cool. It's what you guys got going on, and I like it, man. It's real fishing. That deal you guys did in Central Park is pretty cool.
Yeah, I love that.
Thank you.
So I need to tell you again. It's just JP High. He lives in an amazing luxury condominium. Okay, here in the outskirts of Chicago, and he has a hoodie and a cat that he sleeps on the hoodie, and he has an amazing cat Senko, and he wants people to come fish with him like you guys. So if you think that the adventures that you have found in Central Park, wait till you see the adventures.
Yeah, we'll take you on some adventures.
That you're going to see when you come to Chicago. That's all I'm saying.
Come on out.
Yeah. Come on down, see us. Dollywood, Conway, Twitty City. We got it all.
We'll be there soon.
Hey, Nolan, you're awesome,
We'll be
dude.
there.
You know that?
Appreciate it.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah,
Anytime.
congrats, man.
You guys are welcome here
Congrats,
anytime.
Nolan.
Uncle Larry Outdoors
Congratulations.
and Nolan Miner. Peace. All right. All right, there it is. So what do we got? What do we got to do, Bass Galaxy?
Let's give away something, and then let's go fill the cheese heater over there at the gas station and get some nachos.
Yeah, I want that gas station nacho next door.
We both tried getting nachos
Yeah.
today, and they were
you
out
know
of
what
cheese.
they said? Hey, that's nacho cheese.
That's not that's someone else's cheese.
That's nacho cheese.
Yeah.
No, we literally both went to the nacho store and couldn't get cheese because they
There's
didn't
no
have nacho
cheese.
cheese at the nacho store.
Did you fill the bin with
Dude,
chips
I
first
turned
too?
that's next door. I turned that whole machine upside down to get cheese out of that.
Well, I
thing
filled the
before.
chip- I
They
emptied
hate
the
me in
chips
there.
and
I
the-
open
yeah.
the top and then I just turn it upside down until the cheese comes out. And then if it's even cold, sometimes, and there's a lot of pre-Rona stuff where I'd like stick my hands in there.
Yeah.
And just get the rest.
Just
of
hold it up to your mouth.
Yeah, one time I cut the bag with a knife just to get more cheese. These are all true stories. For real.
I believe it.
Okay, let's give things away. JP High has been anxiously awaiting. He put the prizes in a randomizer. Andrew Willenberger has disappeared behind the table. And Andy, what do you want to give him? You want to give him a drum roll, or do you want to give him a yeah. JP, what is this? Yeah, saying yeah. Is this the what?
Yeehaw, yeehaw.
That's not how it goes.
I like that.
First up is the Tin Cup Mystery Fun Pouch Sack of Good Good.
Ooh.
And that winner is Matthew Gluseth.
Oh, that's Pete's buddy.
Is that
Pete's brother?
Pete's buddy brother?
Pete's buddy brother.
Not Glusick.
My buddy.
His brother?
Pete Glusick.
Gluseth.
My buddy named Pete.
Matthew Gluseth, if you're watching still, please message. Direct message Stray Cats.
Is that Matthew Gluseth?
Why do you always pick
Gluseth.
names that you have a hard time pronouncing?
So it's
because they're all hard to pronounce.
It's a f and a f.
Okay, you
in the
find a
last
Johnson or something.
Gloof.
Or a Smith.
Okay, congratulations, Matt.
You and
Matt Gluthith.
And our Abu Garcia winner
of
Ethan Forbes.
Ethan Forbes. Congratulations.
Ethan, if you're still watching, direct message Stray Cast. Attention, Jake. Thank you for playing.
Jake Cox.
Good job, guys.
Thanks, Abu Garcia, and thanks, Luke Foley and the entire Tin Cup Whiskey organization.
Yes.
For the contribution of the prizes. Thanks, all our fine sponsors. Thank you, Bryan Thrift. Thank you.
Could I get my plug in real quick?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
What's your plug?
Absolutely, JP. Please do.
This Saturday, the 10th, from 10 to 1 at the Munster Park District is having a fishing derby.
Oh,
hey.
Centennial Park, 2 age divisions, trophies, a great prize from Abu Garcia.
And who's running that thing?
I will be there.
What? You're like Otto.
Jay Fizzle.
You're like Otto from The Simpsons teaching fishing classes.
I'm not running it, but I will be there.
You're running
Okay, you're running it.
Running it.
We're just saying you're running it.
I'm running
So
it.
here's the thing. Come on out to the kids' derb, right?
Come to the kids'
Come
derb.
to the kids' derb on
There's going to
Saturday.
be hot dogs.
Hot dogs.
Yeah.
Safe social distancing.
Vienna.
Everything is up on the up and up. And JP High, come meet JP High and his
That's-
He
that's
has a
what day
singing
again?
monkey.
Saturday?
It's Saturday. Yeah.
Saturday.
JP and his singing
Saturday.
monkey are Saturday at Centennial Park in Munster, Indiana. All kidding aside, if you live in the area, that's
And you
the
have
Chicago
children.
land, and you have children, even if you just want to come
Or if
hang
you got
out
a nephew.
if you want
Or
to
a
hang
niece.
out with
It's going to be a beautiful
JP.
day, so bring
Did you
them.
check the weather?
70 degrees.
Yes.
Sunny.
Sunny and 70.
And come hang out with JP in the Munster Parks and Recreation Association
Come catch some Gilberts
administration.
or a big giant striper.
I like that Munster Parks and Rec show that's on IFC at night.
Yes.
It's good. That
It's
Chris
good.
Pratt guy fishes too.
Yeah.
He does.
Yeah, Aziz.
Yes. So as I say to you, Bass Galaxy, join JP High, the hip hop fisherman, on Saturday.
Hey, and final CalSag Bass Anglers Tournament.
Yeah, if you
This
want
Sunday.
to just come out, it's probably too late to qualify for stuff, but come out and take everybody's money. If you've
Dude,
been fishing
come on
there all
out
week,
if you want to win
Yeah.
for actual real money locally.
It's called Take Ryan's Money Tournament, and that is that's basically
true. It's
no,
Take Dave's
that-
Money,
That's
actually.
what I call it. It's called Win Dave Ryan's Money Tournament. That's on Sunday at the CalSag deal. Saturday, Centennial Park, CalSag, Sunday. I'm Pat Renwick. This has been a Stray Cast production.
Yeah.
Haas and Pfeiffer Incorporated. Thank
Nachos.
you, everyone. Yes, thank you. That's nacho cheese. Hopefully, it's my cheese at the end of this. And we'll see you next week. Peace. To you all. Thanks for letting us do this. Like, we love this. Thanks.
Nachos.